Last Halloween.
We interrupt this program to bring you breaking news. A giant pumpkin-shaped asteroid is heading towards Earth. Here's the footage. What is that thing? I better go get Optimus Prime. What is that? I believe that is called Unicron. I thought it was only a legend. It will be done. I know what I must do. By the power of the Matrix, light our darkest hour till all are one. And so there is a mysterious tank driving around town. The military has not claimed authority for it.
Unicron's footprint. A reminder of where I came from.
Optimus, there's that tank that the news was talking about. Stay here, Cliff Jumper. I'll investigate. Sing!
Bludgeon, what are you doing here? I have a mission.
Sing!
Ah, my leg.
This Decepticon. Sing, 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 sing. Ah! Optimus, you're hurt. Take this, you creep.
Don't worry, Jetfire's here to save the day.
Tink, tink. Whoosh. Tink, tink. Sing.
My arm.
Sing.
Hello, Legotransformers fans. This is Soundvox with Legotransformers Bludgeon. Well, before I get started today, I just wanted to mention Happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you get lots of trick-or-treats. In addition, if you're watching this video and enjoying my Lego Transformers, you should definitely subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss a minute. I would really appreciate it if you do subscribe. Thank you very much. Now let's get on to Bludgeon. So Bludgeon is in his tank mode. Now this Transformer, he was originally in Generation 1 a pretender who basically was a big plastic rubbery shell with a small tank transformer inside. So Bludgeon's comic books and other appearances always showed him in his full shell. Well, luckily for us, time went on. Pretenders, I never was into Pretenders too much. I got a couple just because they were G1 and I found them at a garage sale for cheap. However, time moved on and they turned Bludgeon into a tank. And merged his Pretender shell with his robot mode. So he looks much cooler in robot mode. Now let's talk about my Bludgeon. So as a tank, he's got a tank turret here. He has these cool little swords on the sides that kind of act as guns in tank mode. I originally built this turret to put them in the tank nozzle and inside the turret. However, the problem with that was they got too big, and his backpack was just way too big. So I decided to streamline, and I think it looks a lot better for doing so. I got some slope tank pieces here. Got some nice triangles on the side to give that treads look. You can see a little bit of his robot peeking out from underneath, unfortunately. And then the back of him, it's got a little orange peeking out. Right here as well. Got a grate there and another piece to give some details. So let's compare him to my Bludgeon figure. So this is a Bludgeon figure that I got. Now, I never really had any hopes of getting Bludgeon. Then one day in Toys R Us, I saw a cart full of clearance items. And Revenge of the Fallen Bludgeon was in there. I think this is one of the coolest designs of Bludgeon. He's a normal tank, so he looks like a tank. And he transforms into Bludgeon, his skeleton robot / Pretender shell mode. So there's how he sizes with the figure. And you can see he's got the orange on him. The orange on mine's on the back because if I put too much on the front, it just wouldn't work with the transformation. Other than that, I think he looks pretty awesome in comparison. Now, let's do a quick size comparison with a Lego minifigure. Now, my tanks always are slightly bigger than the minifigures. Most of my vehicles are smaller than the minifigure, but the tanks seem to all be bigger. And that's probably so I could get a rotating turret, which I did on this Bludgeon. I got a rotating turret. That's simple one stud rotation, stud friction. Now let's take the Lego man out of there and compare him to a couple of my other Transformer tanks. Just to show the size relationship, here's Megatron. And they're pretty much the same size. Megatron's a little larger, but of course Megatron's got a sloppier turret. But they look good next to each other. And let's compare him to Brawl. And so Brawl's got a longer body and smaller turret. But he's good size next to him. Okay, Bludgeon has a great turret size to body size comparison ratio. I use some nice curved slope pieces here to give them that tank angled look. Same with the back, but I also put some angular pieces in to make it more rugged looking. So that's enough about tank mode. Let's get into the whole reason why we're here. Legotransformers. Okay, to transform Bludgeon, we have to be careful with his turret because his legs are in there in such a way that they don't like to go around the turret. So I have to turn the turret just right to get them out. There we go. One. too. Okay, now the legs are connected on a multitude of pieces in here. There is a little tube with these little curved pieces where the tube is inserted in the tube in the little curved tube pieces. They have holes in the bottom. So first thing we'll do here is this little piece here, we'll rotate that up. And that kind of covers the white of the bar and it allows me to rotate them forward. We can also kind of grab the legs and wiggle them out. Now I gotta be careful touching the front of the legs because the way they're connected, the fronts can easily disconnect. So that's one thing I gotta be careful of. Then we can rotate out the feet. Now, time for the arms. We rotate down. We rotate down. Getting a little off screen there. Oh my gosh, look how big Bludgeon is. We gotta back this up. Now for his arms. So we'll rotate his cannon back up. And let's rotate his arms downward. And they're just on singular studs. So this is stud friction between that stud and that plate. And he has a hand that comes out. And we do have some swivel there because of this piece. I did that on purpose. Then we can rotate this one down. Once again, stud friction. They like to unhook. Yeah, his arm came off. Stud friction. Some of my Legos, they stick together very well. And others, the stud friction causes them to get so loose. Okay, here we go. Straighten out his helmet. Now, we've got Bludgeon. I'm going to kind of lower this a little bit. Rotate that up. And zoom out just a hair more. So you can see Bludgeon is a much bigger Transformer in robot mode. And you saw the transformation. Now the other cool thing, we can take these little swords out. Put them in his hands. And he's ready to do battle. So let's talk about articulation for Bludgeon. For articulation, he does have a wing flap, which is part of his transformation. We can rotate the stud friction to move his arms up and down. And we have an elbow stud friction joint to move them left and right. So that's how I got the poses in the intro. Of course, it took quite a bit to get those poses, because he isn't the most posable Transformer. In addition, I wanted to capture that scary skeleton look. So I used the Lego skeleton face from a minifig to make his face. Then, this cool helmet, this came off from a Creo figure. The only problem with the helmet is if I push it down all the way, it covers the eyes. So I gotta kind of have it sitting on there where it's sort of on the stud, but not fully secured to the stud. Which is why we had to rotate it just a minute ago. But it stays pretty good. It looks awesome. Now I've got Bludgeon's skull face chest design here. Got the two black dots for the eyes, and then the cool orange, and that gold piece just to give it a little more shininess. In addition, we have white pieces for arms and hands to look like skeleton arms and hands, which I know the actual Pretender shell had like purple gloves or something. But I like the skeleton hands. I like to think of Bludgeon as an undead skeleton samurai robot. In addition to that, I also put on the Lego skeleton feet. And then I added some blocks for stabilization on the bottom. They're orange to match the Transformers figure I have, who has orange feet. In addition, these legs are a little tricky because they do cause for him to like to bend forwards or backwards. So he has to be just right to hold himself up good. As far as leg articulation, his leg can actually turn in that transformer joint. And you can turn this little leg and get some pretty dynamic poses out of him. To go forward though, unfortunately because of the blocks and stuff, I have to like separate his leg out a little bit more. See, I separated a little too far there to get more forward range. But we're not going to play with that right now. I went for posability on Bludgeon, just so I can get him in some cool poses. But of course, most of my Lego Transformers, the primary goal is to have a cool alt mode and a convincing robot mode. Now here we have Lego Bludgeon next to the Return of the Fallen figure, Bludgeon, who's a Voyager size. That's why he's much larger. I'd actually pull my camera back here. Some of the aesthetic I went for was to get these orange pieces to line up a little bit with his chest, his samurai front shield plates, orange on his shoulders a little bit, orange on his shoulders, and of course the orange feet. But I also wanted it to look like skeletal feet, kind of like these look like, so I put the Lego skeleton feet. They capture that skull look of his chest. And this helmet goes very well to match his helmet's look. So that's how I did Bludgeon in comparison to his figure. That was my basis for what I was building. So let's do a quick size comparison. Here is Lego Transformers Bludgeon in robot mode. And here's our little minifigure. Look how tiny he is now. When Bludgeon was in tank mode, the minifigure was almost as tall as him. Now that Bludgeon's in robot mode, well, that minifigure is microscopic. Bludgeon towers over him, just like most Transformers would. Of course, they're not in scale. If they were in scale, he'd be much bigger. And then, here we have Megatron, just to show a size comparison of two of our tanks in robot mode. And Bludgeon is a little bit taller. But that height was to get him his cool samurai look and to give him a little extra articulation in there. Well, thank you for joining. I hope you've enjoyed this special Halloween episode with Bludgeon, a Transformer that seems to define Halloween with his look. He is definitely a ghoul of the night, an awesome Halloween creation. So, please leave a like, share your comments, and I look forward to seeing you subscribed. Stay tuned till next time for more Lego Transformers.
Optimus, what a cool look. I'm not Optimus.